everyone, I'm here live with Jason Roberts today for Talent Trailblazer TV. Jason is our Global Head of Technology and Analytics for Randstad Sourceright, and we more fondly call him Chief Nerd if you look around his office today. We're really excited to have Jason with us because he's going to give us some insight into how technology is reshaping talent acquisition strategies for customers and access to talent. So let's get this interview started. Jason, I think one of the big challenges for many organizations we speak to is their diversity of technology systems that power all of their HR and recruiting components, in addition to just even getting those systems lined up to provide a single data view to be able to be much smarter in the way that they undertake their talent acquisition strategies and models. So tell me a little bit about how are we looking at how we can aggregate and bring together powerful data to, enable smarter recruitment?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and this is a problem that we have, of course. When you look at sort of our RPO organization with several hundred companies, and each of those companies having multiple systems, pulling those together to give a cohesive view becomes even more challenging. We built a tool several years ago. I think it's Talent Radar is probably 3 years old now. The main purpose was to do exactly what you're talking about: bring data together from multiple disparate systems in order to tell a cohesive story. And we had to do quite a bit of work. We actually are currently on our third iteration of our database on that, because it is challenging to get these technologies to speak to one another. Once you do, though, you can start to pull out insights that are pretty unique. So, for example, my favorite predictor that I talk about a bunch is I can predict on the day that a requisition opens for one of our larger client customers where we have a lot of data. I can predict on the day that a requisition opens, within a pretty tight margin, I think with 80% accuracy, when that rec will fill, just based on the attributes of that rec, who the recruiter is, how often they fill the same job, who the hiring manager is, how long it's been since they filled their last job. All sorts of things go into those algorithms that help us to make determinations. And we have incredible predictive capability once we do that. So for an organization, I think the starting point is just finding an analytics package that allows you to pull the data in to a single view. What we oftentimes run into is each of these tools that we use have their own analytics package, they have their own reporting package. And they're fine and good, but they don't tell us the full story. And oftentimes they have canned reports that aren't particularly useful for our use case. So you have to find something that allows you to aggregate that data. Lots of tools are out there. So you've got your most popular out there is Tableau. Probably the most popular BI tool in the world is Excel. So at bare minimum, pull these things into a table with VLOOKUPs if you need to. But Tableau does a good job of it there. And then we have a pretty robust tool that we've built ourselves called Talent Radar for this purpose.
One of the things is that when you look at the combination of technology and analytics to be able to be a stronger recruiting engine in your organization, tell me, how is that going to reshape what recruiters do today, and how do they prepare themselves to leverage today's and tomorrow's tools to really enhance their value for the organization?
So recruiters are becoming more, back to the analogy I was using earlier, recruiters are becoming much more like a pilot piloting a system that's on autopilot during the process, right? So you still need a pilot for the intake session to monitor what's happening during flight, and then for a landing to sell the position in the end. I think that will continue. I think we need that from recruiters going forward. We'll see. For a recruiter to prepare, they'll have to get accustomed to the systems. You'll have to know that your job is changing. If you're the very best Boolean search string writer in the world, you have to know that there's a machine that can probably figure out how to talk to another machine better than you can, and it's going to do that. So know that there are going to be things that are disrupting your world coming very, very soon. But there are things that we still need recruiters to do. We still need people who can have positive conversations. We need people who can write great marketing communications and provide a level of touch that's over and above what we normally see in our current work. And when we talk about this tech and touch idea, recruiters have to become the touch of this. We can automate pieces that are low-hanging fruit, but recruiters still have to do a good job of being being the face of the process and making this feel human. Um, what we lose sometimes in the discussion about recruiting, especially when we talk in aggregate, is the fact that we're fostering someone through a life change. It is a huge decision. It's one of those milestone events that you sort of judge your life by. It's when I moved, when I changed houses, when I got married, when I worked at this company versus another company. We're impacting a milestone event in their life. You need a person to be involved in that. So recruiters, I think, focusing on those personal skills, those interactions. And if you find yourself behind a computer and not talking to people very often, you're going to have to focus more attention on talking to people. Videos like this one are going to be more and more valuable over time. But the more human you can be, the better position you'll be ultimately, because humans provide that touch, and the tech is going to do more and more of what it can.
And I think, Jason, from the sounds of it, tech will really help enable that speed in areas of find and match. And really that, like you said, that personal touch will be important about converting, and really having, me being a marketer, thinking in a marketer's way, that you're spending a lot more time on that engagement and really driving a company's employer brand and why do you want to work for that company.
One thing that we've been talking about quite a bit for a few years is that when candidates are offering their information up for free online, like they do. So LinkedIn, we have a lot of information on candidates online. They're offering up for free. Facebook more and more as well too. So if that's happening, and we can find most of the people in the market, and all of us have that ability. If you have a LinkedIn recruiter license, you can find a huge percentage of the market right there. What sets you apart as an employer? It used to be that whoever could find the candidates the best had a competitive advantage. That's not where the advantage sits any longer. It's whoever can engage those candidates most effectively, whoever can attract them, whoever can sell them on that job and engage them in the most effective way. That's who wins in the new competitive landscape for talent.
And I think it's interesting, Jason, when we look at what we're doing is, really reshaping and building talent advisory into our recruiters' role. And really, I know internally we've got a strong focus globally on I'm a talent advisor training and really reshaping the value in this tech and touch environment that we can bring to companies today. So could you tell me a little bit about I'm a talent advisor?
Yeah, I'm really excited about I'm a talent advisor. So a few different things. We had this training. We split it up into a few modules. We are I'll just tell you what the modules are and explain what they are. So the first one is I'm a purple squirrel hunter. There's always going to be a need for someone who can hunt in hard to fill places, the true detective, and the person who can uncover candidates that no one else can uncover. That will always be a need. So finding those purple squirrels is going to be important. And actually even working with matching technologies is going to be important, teaching the matching technologies how to do a good job of finding those people. The second one is robots do my bidding. Like I said, we have to have pilots to manage the autopilot, right? We have to have someone set up what these bots are going to be doing, and we're training all of our workforce to do that. So robots do my bidding is part of I'm a talent advisor. I'm a marketing master. So how do you write effective communications to candidates? How do you do marketing campaigns? So multi-layered campaigns. If someone doesn't respond to email or SMS, what are your follow-ups to them and how often do you do those? And we all see those emails. Hey, sorry we couldn't connect last week. Those sort of eye-catching messages that come up and get our attention. We need to learn how to do that as an industry and do it in a less annoying way than some of the salespeople that hit my mailbox, I think. And then the next one is I'm a community builder. So building those talent communities of engaged talent, that's huge. That is incredibly important for us because that's how people opt into our SMS-based campaigns or email campaigns to reach out to them later when a job does come up. So I'm a community builder is the next piece. And then the final piece that we're doing, along with a massive consultative effort, teaching people how to be really strong consultants to their business. On the technology side, we're releasing I'm an expert empowered by data, where we bring a thing that we call the Talent Advisor Toolkit into the hands of individual recruiters sitting across the table from a hiring manager and having conversations about the best places to find candidates and and hey, Mr. Manager, it might be better to remove one skill because it contributes an extra 30 days to time to fill, for example. On the staffing side, there might be a time where a manager wants someone in 8 weeks, and we know that it's going to take, for a permanent fill, it'll take 90 days. So if we're looking at this from a total talent perspective, we could say, well, I can find you a contractor in 2 weeks. They'll be able to work on your project. They'll be able to finish it out before your 8-week deadline, and then you can either convert them or let them go at the end of the project. That's the project, the way that we can look at it. So from a total talent perspective and being an advisor on that, those pieces are valuable as well. All of this requires data, and we're finally in a place where we have that data brought together in our world to have those conversations. So we want to make sure the recruiters are empowered to use that.
I think it sounds pretty exciting, Jason, when you think about how the role of the recruiter is evolving. And, I do think it really is an example of how technology can enable us with the access and the speed to, quality talent for our customers. So thanks, Jason. I think just one last question to wrap us up. I think that if we look at a lot of the C-suite business partners that we work with across all of our different customers within all the enterprises globally, where do you think technology could help these C-suite partners to really deliver value and define measurable value to their company?
I think the starting point is visibility. So visibility into what's happening across all the platforms they're using in one place. I think they need that. I think they suffer from an amplified problem that we have, which is we have trouble with the 4 or 5 technologies within talent acquisition we deal with. They have 40, 50, 100 technologies across their full enterprise. So if you can provide a way to give them some transparency into the process and into what the needs are, very clean view into what's important to them, I think that's probably the starting point. But then ways of engaging with talent is also important. So introduction of video. So imagine if you're doing video interviews and your introduction video to those in the waiting spot is in the waiting room for those interviewers was from the CEO. That would be incredible, right? People don't do that normally, but that would be incredible. There's live online chats that you can do. So the ability for a CEO to get in and actually get involved in recruiting and make some time available to do live chats with multiple people over a long period of time. Just looking at ways that Brazen is a technology that we use for that right now. So looking at ways that you can do things like that so that you can level up and allow them to touch the process, be an active part of the process in a much broader way. I think that's the best way to get them involved outside of transparency to what's happening.
And I think, Jason, that takes us back to a point that you made earlier, that it's really about today how you differentiate your company, your brand, to really ensure that the top talent wants to work for you. And that's, really what innovative ways you can use technologies to do that. Thank you so much for your time, Jason. I know that you have to run to another meeting. Thank you for participating in Talent Trailblazer TV, and we look forward to sharing this out with our audiences globally. Thank you.
Thank you.